So this podcast episode is a topic I didn't think I'd ever talk about. And honestly, in the beginning of the year, it was a podcast topic that I did not want to talk about, but I saw the light. And today we were talking about messaging and AI. If that's interesting to you, well, keep on listening.
Hi, I'm Brandon Lucero, and you're about to experience the new way to thrive in business, entrepreneurship, and life by leaning into who you are, what you love, and standing up for what you want to create. Get ready, because this is where we go against the grain, say no to outdated society norms, and we say yes to change in order to create a happier, more fulfilled world. Welcome to the New Generation Entrepreneur Podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the New Generation Entrepreneur Podcast. Today, we got a new episode, obviously, but a different episode. It's an episode on a topic that I have not talked about here on the podcast, but it's probably going to be a topic that we talk about a lot in the near future. I'll be honest with you guys. It is an episode and a topic that I never thought I would talk about at the beginning of the year. It is a topic that I didn't want to talk about. And so, I don't know, I have a newfound love and passion for this topic, and will probably be a direction that we take in the near future. And one of the main reasons why that I'm so pumped up on this is, well, the couple of reasons. The first one is I think that this is a direction that all of us are going to have to face at some point. I just think that this is where the future is. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's coming. I think it's already here. And so I think that there's a lot of people that don't really know how to navigate this area, don't really know how to use it yet. And so we're going to talk about how we're using it, what the future looks like for us within our own company. But the second reason why this is such a big passion for me is because I think this topic is going to bring bigger, better, stronger and deeper results for our students, and it could for your students as well. And that topic is AI. Obviously, I'm sure you guys could tell from the title. But the problem is, and the reasons why I want to talk about it today is I think that there is a lot of confusion around it. And I also think that this topic brings and breeds a lot of things that are counterproductive to success as well. And so as I do more and more sales calls, and so, which by the way, yes, I'm doing sales calls within our own company. I wasn't doing it for a really long time, but right now we're in a transition period, a pivot period, where we're trying to figure out what is the program is built to convert, but what is the offer? What is the angle? How do we sell this? What does the sales mechanism look like? What does the funnel look like? We're just in this giant testing phase. And so every time we go through these testing phases and developing new things, it always requires me to step in and it's a beautiful thing. It's a lot more work, but it's really beautiful in the sense that I get to be able to connect and talk with a lot of our audience and people coming in and people who are attending our webinars and buying our programs. And I really get to understand where they're at, where their thinking's at, and the problems are at. And one of the things that I've noticed after talking to so many people is that when it comes to AI, I think it has the potential to bring a lot of beauty, and I think it has a lot of potential to bring a lot of destruction. And destruction in this, and I'll give some context around what I mean with destruction, is when I look at our own students, I think that when we can't figure something out, in the past, it's always required mastery. So if you guys want to be selling courses and programs and you want to be coaching and bringing transformation to people's lives, it does require you to have some level of mastery over your craft, which requires a lot of experience. And I've said this for years, the more mastery and experience that you have over your craft, the more people you work with, the deeper your messaging can be, because you have a lot more knowing. Remember, there's a difference between knowing and knowledge. Knowledge is like reading a book on how to riding a bike, and knowing is like actually knowing how to ride a bike. So we, in the past, needed and required a lot of knowing to write really great messaging. And sometimes, I'll just be honest with you guys, there's a lot of people that just don't have that. And then you're trying to compete with people that do have that. And it's just really difficult to try to compete with that, because their messaging and their communication is just going to be deeper. It's going to land more. It's going to resonate more. So I think because of that, what's happening now with AI, instead of developing that mastery, people are defaulting to AI, thinking that AI will solve their problem. And it just won't. And like, if you think that you can just go to ChatGPT and say, like, write me a Facebook ad that converts, like, what you're really doing is you're saying, like, hey, ChatGPT, I don't want to learn this. I don't want to develop the skill. I don't want to develop the mastery. I just want you to do it for me. But you have to realize, if you're doing that, then you're one of probably 1,000 or 10,000 people doing that, all asking the same tool to do the work for you. Sorry, guys, it just doesn't work that way. It's not going to work out great for you. And to be honest with you, there's probably a lot of you that are listening to this podcast right now that have been trying to create content using ChatGPT, that have been trying to use ad copy and just saying, write me an ad, and you're posting out there and you're not seeing the results. I know that. I know for a fact that there are some of you listening to this podcast right now that have been doing that. And I know that because I've literally gotten on sales calls with, and this number is increasing, more and more people that are like, yeah, I've been creating content, or I've been doing this and doing ChatGPT and it's not working. It's like, why do you think that is? So if we want AI to be a part of our life and to help us out and speed things up, it still requires some form of human input. So like, if you're using ChatGPT and I'm using ChatGPT and we're going, like, if you're another messaging expert and you just got started, you took someone else's course and you're like, you've never actually created messaging successfully for someone, and then you come to me or you compete against me and we're both using ChatGPT to write our copy. Like, if we had a contest of who can get the lowest cost lead, you're a messaging expert, I'm a messaging expert, and we're not allowed to write it ourselves. We have to get ChatGPT to write it for us. I'm probably going to get ChatGPT to give me better copy than you. Like, and hopefully this doesn't come off as egotistical. It's just that I have more experience and understanding of what ChatGPT is giving to me, what the copy is that they're saying, what the languages they're saying, what patterns they're saying, what beliefs my audience is going through, the pain points of my audience. So I can actually guide ChatGPT in the correct way to get me the depth of what I need. And I think we have to come into the AI understanding is that AI doesn't replace the human element. And I think there's a lot of people coming in that think that AI is going to replace the human element, and it's not going to, at least not where it is right now. So AI isn't the solution to fixing your broken messaging. It's not the solution to fixing your broken copy or your broken content. You still need to understand the messaging principles, or honestly, some sort of principles of whatever you're asking it to be. It may not even be messaging related. It could be anything related, right? You still need to have a decent understanding of the subject matter of that you're asking it to help you with. Like, that just needs to happen. Now, one of the things that I started to play around with as I started to dive into this, because what we're doing right now is playing around with a lot of AI. We're going to be incorporating a lot more AI into our courses and programs. And one of the reasons why is because I started to realize, like, no matter how I taught messaging or whatever frameworks I gave or whatever exercises I gave, or no matter how many examples I gave, I started to realize there are just certain students, and I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but there just always is. And you guys have probably experienced this too. There's just certain students where their brain doesn't work as well in this certain area as it might for other areas of their life. And it's the same thing with me. Like, obviously I teach messaging. So the communication, the persuasion, the connection, like how to communicate, that just naturally comes to me. Like, when people talk, I can see where they're at. I can see where their thinking's at. I can see how to navigate them. That just comes naturally to me. I just am lucky enough to have my brain work in that way. But when it comes to things like grammar or spelling or pronouncing things the right way, my brain doesn't work in that way. Like, I have typos all over my stuff. Grammar, I don't really care about because I don't really understand it, or it just does. My brain just does not compute in that way, but it computes in the way of language. It doesn't compute in the way of grammar. And there might be some people that are really great with like grammar and spelling and all that stuff, but they just don't, like, when it comes to persuasive language, their brain just doesn't work that way. So no matter what frameworks I gave, no matter what script templates I gave or whatever it was, they still wouldn't nail it to the level they need. And so what makes me really excited is that when we start to use AI, as long as you have an understanding or mastery over your craft or an understanding of your audience and who you're talking to, AI can come in and be the solution so that you don't need to have a brain that works the same as mine, right? You have prompts and templates, but that you can give to ChatGPT that will allow you to create amazing messaging, amazing content, amazing ads, amazing emails that use your experience, but they pump it out quicker, faster, and deeper and better than you ever would. And I think that's really exciting. To me, that gets me really exciting because now I will have even more students getting bigger results, causing more transformation. I see AI as being able to allow me to bring more results into people's lives. And that's exciting. Like that pumps me up. And so I'm really, really excited about it. We're going to start doing this with everything as I Built to Convert. We're going to have a bot on offers, like how you craft your offer. We're going to have bots on thought reversals, on webinars, on how to pitch, how to do sales calls, like email, like it's ads, like all of this stuff. So I'm actually developing those right now. The GPTs, the rules, the process for it, the rights and the wrongs, how to teach and navigate it. And we're going to be deploying that through Built to Convert for every aspect that we have. So we have like an army of these of AI that's guiding you on exactly what you need to do to drive more sales, drive more engagement. And it's still going to require you and your input and your brain and your expertise and your knowledge and your knowing. It's going to require all of that. But instead of sitting there for like 30 minutes doing an exercise yourself in a workbook, you can just type something in the ChatGPT and you'll have it, or whatever bot we use, and you'll have it in like 30 seconds. So it'll speed things up like massively. But then it got me really curious because there's something else that's been going on. And there are certain people that come to mind. In fact, I'm in a mastermind with some people that have literally said this to me, which is I see people going to ChatGPT and saying, hey, create content like Brandon Lucero, and here's the topic. Or create a thought reversal like Brandon Lucero and do this. Write me a Brandon Lucero style, whatever. And they think that that's actually giving them something that I would write, or something that's based on our messaging philosophy. And then I was curious, like, maybe it is. Maybe ChatGPT is communicating like me. Maybe it is doing all of that stuff. So I decided to put it to the test. And I want to talk about what the test did. Because for those of you that don't know, inside of Built to Convert, we already do have a messaging bot that has been trained on our entire philosophy, our entire program, every framework, every template. We put guidance in there of what it should do, what it shouldn't do, how to adjust things. And it works really well. Okay. So I was curious because I didn't know, maybe ChatGPT does understand me and my philosophy and how I teach and all of that stuff, but also maybe it doesn't. And so I put it to the test. And I want to read you some things that ChatGPT said. Okay. So I went to just regular ChatGPT and I asked it to break down my thought reversal framework. Well, first of all, I asked it if it knew who I was, because I wanted to make ssure it knew the thought reversal, and it did. It's like Brandon Lucero, it teaches thought reversal strategy, blah, 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 right? Whatever. So it knew it. And then I asked it, well, can you break down what is the thought reversal framework? What is Brandon Lucero's thought reversal framework? Okay. And I went through it and it's wrong. It's not even right. And it kind of blew my mind because ChatGPT is supposed to scour the internet, right? Like, first of all, I know that ChatGPT cannot get access to my actual philosophy, the actual program. I already know that. So I know when people are saying, right, Brandon Lucero, you're not getting the results because they don't have access to it unless someone on the internet somewhere stole our program and then uploaded it to like all of ChatGPT. But I do have the thought reversal framework all over the internet. Like, you can go to YouTube, type in thought reversal, and I break down all of it. So it blew my mind a little bit that ChatGPT still didn't know what the thought reversal framework was. And so that was a little surprising. But then what happened is I went to our bot. So we do have a bot. And I asked it, what is a thought reversal? And it gave me a really great breakdown of what thought reversal was. So when I went to ChatGPT and asked it, it gave me a very generalized idea of what thought reversal is. And then when I asked our bot that we have inside of Built to Convert, what is a thought reversal? Let me go back to it. I have it here on the screen. So I'm going to pull it up. So just give me 1 second. I know it's a podcast. I'm not going to edit this out. So you guys are just going to have to literally wait as I pull this up. Okay, here it is. So then I asked it, what is the thought reversal framework? I asked our bot. Okay. So the Built to Convert bot, and it went through step by step. It said, state the core belief, which is what you do and how it's right or wrong, or question it. And then it went into compassion. And then it went into use a sleight of mouth pattern to like break down and show the flaws in the thinking, teach the new way, and end with your call to action. It had a list of call to actions that you can use. When I asked just the regular ChatGPT, what is the thought reversal and what is the framework? It said, identify a belief that your audience holds, which is a step that you do need when writing a thought reversal, but it's not the first part of what you say in the script. Then step number 2 was to flip it. That's not what number 2 is. You don't flip it. You actually prove it wrong. You show how it's flawed. It did get the next step right, which is replace it with a more empowering, truthful belief. But that's not even totally right, because it's not about empowering people or a truthful belief. It's about showing a new and a better way. And then optional, it says to add in evidence or story or analogy, which again, that's part of our educational process of backing it up. So we don't recommend that in actually thought reversals. And then it totally neglected the last 2 steps of a thought reversal. Okay. So when I just asked ChatGPT these things, so what this shows me, and hopefully this doesn't come off as like my bot's better than ChatGPT. It's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that we can't just go to AI or these ChatGPT and expect it to just be the solution to our problem. We still need to learn. We still need to understand, because I could look at that framework. Like if I was in there in ChatGPT and I'm like, this isn't my framework, I would say, okay, ChatGPT, step 1 is off. You need to replace it with this. Step 2 is off as this. Step 3 is that. Use this call to action. I would correct ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT has it, right? They have the right framework, but it would only have the right framework because I was able to recognize it's off, and I was able to recognize that it needs to be shifted and telling it where to shift to. Like I was able to do that because of my knowledge, because of my experience. That's where the human element needs to come in. And most people are missing that. Most people don't want to learn the human side of it that they need to learn so that they can correct it or get the best answer. They just want to take what is ever there and then blast it to the internet and think that's going to solve their problems. And it doesn't work like that. Now, with the bot that we had inside of Built to Convert, it already knew it. It didn't need a lot of the correction. Now, that isn't to say you still, like our bot is just going to be nailing it perfectly, but it does, in my opinion. ChatGPT gave you 50% right answer, and then our bot probably gave you like an 80 to 90% right answer. And so it's still, no matter which one you're using, it's still going to require a human element to it. So even if the information's on the internet, it doesn't mean that ChatGPT is always giving you the best thing. And so you still need to recognize when the framework's wrong, when the steps are wrong. But if you don't know what those are, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know whatever, then it's just not going to get the results. And so one of the reasons why I bring this up is because I know there are a lot of course creators out there that are going like, well, no one's going to buy my course anymore because everyone just wants ChatGPT. And I think we're in a phase right now where there are a lot of people getting a lot of stuff done with ChatGPT. But I think the future of courses and what's going to start happening is that it's going to be about who has the best philosophy, trainings, and teachings to getting some sort of result. And then who has the best AI assistant or bot or process within the course that's going to speed up results and eliminate mistakes for people. I think the next phase, and I don't know what's going to happen 5 years, 10 years down the road, but I know the phase we're in now, I think that's the golden goose. I think the golden goose is who can create the best teachings, the best course, the best training, which has always been the thing, in my opinion. But it now has to be combined with who's going to have the best trained AI bots or GPTs to assist in that course material manifesting inside of their life or whatever it may be. So you still need to understand that. You still need to understand whatever it is you're asking on some level. And I did 2 different things. Also, I put this to a test, and I'm just going to do it. I'm actually just going to do it live here on the podcast. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and I'm actually going to train it on or ask it about webinar titles. So you guys are going to hear me type this, right? And we're just going to show you the difference. Okay. So I would say, can you create me a persuasive title for a webinar that targets course creators who are struggling to create engaging content? Okay. So the way that I would probably write this, like a title for this, is like something like how course creators can create engaging content as little as 5 minutes a day or something like that. That's an example I always use. So I go to ChatGPT, I give it the prompt, can you create me a persuasive title for a webinar that targets course creators who are struggling with engaging content? Okay. So let me give you some of the titles that it came up with. The content cure, how course creators can finally create posts that get attention, comments, and sales. Fix your flat content, the messaging shift that makes students pay attention. The 3 lies keeping your course content boring and how to fix it today. From crickets to clients, how to craft engaging content that actually converts. And, I kind of like that one. I don't like the crickets to clients, but how to create engaging content that actually converts. The secret to creating scroll stopping content without having to post every day or being loud. They're okay, but these are not titles that I would go with. And these aren't titles that I think are good. So I'm going to go to Arbot inside of Built to Convert, and I'm going to put the exact same post in there. Again, I'm doing this live, so I don't know. Well, I'm not live, but I'm recording it. And I'm going to see what it comes up with. Okay. So here is the first title. Create the most engaging content you've ever created without doing endless how-to tutorials that nobody watches. Like, that already is so much better of a title. That already is like light years ahead of what ChatGPT gave. And again, I'm not trying to sit here and say my bot's better than ChatGPT. What I'm saying is that I think you as a course creator have an opportunity, because I think a lot of people are sitting here afraid that ChatGPT is going to replace them. But I'm saying, I think you as a course creator, you have an opportunity now to create your own GPTs, your own bots, your own AI that will allow your students to get better results, faster results than ChatGPT will ever be able to do. So I don't think, like, I know a lot of people running around, well, ChatGPT is going to replace me. And this is what people, there might be people now that are trying to use it. But what's happening is I think we have this wave of people who are trying to use ChatGPT to like not have to buy a course. And what's going to happen is they're going to try and they're not going to be able to get the results because they don't have the knowledge, experience, or understanding to even identify that the stuff that ChatGPT is giving them doesn't work. And I know that for a fact, because I literally have people going like, I asked it to give me Brandon style messaging and it gave it to me in 2 seconds. And I look at it and like, that I would never talk like that. I know that's not going to work, but they know I have the knowledge to know that that's not going to work. They don't. So what do? They try it and it doesn't work. So let me read you some more of these titles. How to create demand generating content without giving away your entire course for free. That one's pretty good. The content conversion formula, turn ignored posts into sales generating assets. That's really good too. Create content that makes them want more without teaching everything for free. Stop being the best kept secret. How to create content that converts without exhausting educational posts. The engagement blueprint, create content that pulls people in without more and more how-to videos or step-by-step. So, and then it continues to give like direction on how to create a promise, why these titles work best, what a title should have, and all of this stuff, right? So that's just the difference between this AI bot that we have and ChatGPT in 2 different ways. I tested it with thought reversals and I tested it with webinar titles. Like, our bot is already light years ahead of where ChatGPT would. And that's the benefit that our students get. But that's also the benefit that your audience can get too. So your audience gets to have this benefit as well. So these are the things that we've been playing with, and this is the direction that we're going to be heading with. And it actually gets me really, really freaking excited, because I feel like if you're one of the first ones to get onto this new wave, which I don't think that this is going to be something we're going to be able to escape. I don't think as a course creator, you're going to be able to escape this. I think you're going to have to embrace it and bring it in on some level. And if you're one of the first ones to do it, it gives you a massive advantage in the direction the world is going. And so I think, we have an opportunity for this to be very destructive, but we also have an opportunity for this to be very helpful. And it still is going to require you understanding the context of what you're asking it to some level, because it's going to allow you to give better prompts. Like, again, do you need to use, if you're looking for messaging, do you have to use MyBot versus ChatGPT? No, you don't. But in order for ChatGPT to actually give you good answers, you do need to have it working on some like an understanding on some level, so you can recognize if it's good, it's bad, how to correct it. And so what I wanted to do is actually give you guys a free resource. I'm actually going to be putting it together. By the time you're listening to this, it's already done. But by the time I'm recording it, I still have to piece it together. So it's either going to be a video or it might be a PDF. I'm not sure. But I do have a free resource that you guys can use right now that allows you to go to ChatGPT and perfect a thought reversal using ChatGPT. So I have a little mini training. It might be a video or it might be a PDF with prompts that you can ask ChatGPT to guide it to finding a thought reversal that allows you to create a piece of content using ChatGPT. Again, you don't need to use our bot. This is just with the free version of ChatGPT. I have a free resource that's going to guide you on how to use it. Because again, like I said, you need to know your messaging and the prompt, and you need to know to recognize when it's off and when it's not. So I have a completely free resource. You just have to opt in for it. We'll give it to you guys. But all you need to do is go to brandonlucero.com/TRAI. So that's TRAI. So brandonlucero.com/TRAI. And all you need to do is opt into that. We'll send it right over to your email. And on the thank you page, I have something special for you there. Okay. So head over, go check it out. That's brandonlucero.com/TRAI. And I'll see you on the next page. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. I can't wait to bring you more episodes on this topic and see how we embrace this in our future. So if you love this episode, head over to iTunes, leave me a review. If you're a listener of the podcast, we haven't had a review in a while. So I'd love to hear your feedback, and if you're loving the podcast. And although I don't want any 4, 3, or 2 or 1-star reviews, I'll take it if it's your honest opinion. But if you have a 5-star review sitting in your back pocket for us, head over there on iTunes, leave it for us, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care, everyone.
Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out another episode of the New Generation Entrepreneur Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, go below, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you click on that bell icon and get notified every time we drop a new episode. Now, if you're looking for the show notes, we have them linked underneath this video, as well as our social media handles and some links to free training and offers that we drop from time to time to help you guys even further. So go check those out if you're interested, and thank you so much for tuning in to the New Generation Entrepreneur Podcast.